What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie. This is part 3 of my reviewing and ranking King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard studio albums. And number 3 is Float Along, Fill Your Lungs. I'm going to talk about this, then I'm going to rank it to the other two, rank it compared to the other two I've already talked about, and then continue on with the list, about one a week. So this one came out in 2013, and they went into the studio, even though their first two albums and their EPs before that are definitely psych garage rock, even when they were trying to make a Western album on the first one. It's a psychedelic Western album. Their intent was to make a psych album, and they made one of the greatest psych albums ever. It's just drenched in psychness. And I mean that almost literally, in that it seems like at the core of this album, you have 8, maybe 9 songs, since one of them is kind of 2 songs, that could, at their very core, be acoustic little ballads sitting around the campfire, like, you know, playing acoustic music. And like, these could be great songs. They'd be catchy on the back porch with, like, you know, some little acoustic percussion and stuff like that. But no, what they've done is they've taken these 8 songs and like recorded them and then drenched them in psych effects and psych noises and tweaking the vocals or the dynamics of the song, going from like lo-fi to more hi-fi. Yeah, they're making sure this is as psychedelic as possible. And it's weird because it reminds me of Foxygen, if anybody knows Foxygen, from like, they're big around 2010-ish, give or take a couple years. But they were doing all these retro albums that tapped into like 60s and early 70s artists. And you could like point to the artists that they sounded like, but they didn't sound like any of those artists' songs. It wasn't like they were simply mimicking. It was like Ween. It was like they got their inspiration and made stuff that sounded old school, but was current and had the knowledge of decades. That's what this album feels like. It kind of sounds dated, right? It's not the best sound quality. King Crimson, King Gizzard is not known for their best sound quality. A lot of it sounds really, really dated in a 60s way, but absolutely not dated in a 60s way, because it doesn't sound like a particular song. It just sounds like this genre, and they're so good, and they're so inventive, and they're so aware of all the psych tricks that it just makes for an absolutely amazing listen. Yeah. I love this album. So it opens up with this 16-minute Head-On pill, which is just this stunning jam. This guitar riff comes in that just lays it out. It's like, dun, na, 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 almost this anthemic type guitar riff. And you get about 3.5 minutes of just this like psych-drenched just groove. It is just like, it's hypnotic. There's sitar going on there. It's just like this, like this river of psychness. I don't know how to describe it. It's comforting, yet at the same time, it's like haunting and attacking. And then after about 3.5 minutes of that, all of a sudden get this frantic, what I would describe as like the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard sort of hypnotic Australian krautrock beat, just that driving, pushing just beat. And that is essentially when we go into the second part of the song, which is Pill. And the lyrics in this are just, I took the wrong pill. I took the wrong one. Right? I took the wrong one. I took the wrong one. Yeah. I ate the wrong. Yeah. So it's all about eating the wrong pill and having some really, really trippy experiences because of that. Yeah. And then at the end, they kind of slow it down back into like Head-On. But it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's 16 minutes. It's exhilarating. By the time it's over, you feel like that could be the entire album and you'd still be happy, but realizing there's still 7 more awesome things. It is amazing. When I saw them live for the first time, that was the first thing they did. This album had not even dropped yet, and they dropped this to start it off, and they're weaving in and out of this Pill and Head-On thing. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Yeah. All right. The rest of the next 6 songs are a lot more playing with like different sort of like psych tropes and genres, like the folky psych, the kind of backport sing-along drunky psych, a little more of a poppy retro psych. I'm Not a Man starts off with some weird, like we're kind of I'm Not a Man has more of a normal, just kind of psych groove. But when the lyrics come in or the vocals come in the beginning, they're already tweaking them and adding all these effects in them just to like not give you too much comfort at any point, to make sure there's some element of psych weirdness seeping into the music always. Really nice guitar playing throughout this entire song, throughout this entire album. Even if a song starts to go to like typical, maybe just psych rock territory, where like, okay, we recognize all those sort of like themes that you're playing with, there's always some melodic guitar line that comes in, or just some tempo shift that just like makes it a King Gizzard experience, as opposed to just like mimicking this 60s psych sound. God Is Calling Me Back Home as that like acoustic sing-along type fail, some pretty dark lyrics. I'll just flunk or fail. Yeah, just some guy who's really down on himself is going to do some horrible things. Kind of a psych noise party vibe in this one. 30 past 7, somebody who doesn't want to wake up in the morning, do not wake this guy up in the morning. Really nice. What did I write about this? Oh, this really nice haunting slide guitar work in the back that's going. What else do we have? Let Me Mend the Past has this really nice sort of, this is the one that is like a retro, this nice simple piano vibe. Really sort of catchy, just kind of a hook. One of those pop hooks that gets earworm, that's going to get stuck in your mind. Mystery Jack's kind of just straight up psych rocker. Pop in My Step is another one that has some really catchy, just kind of hooky 60s melodies in there. Kind of a new wave keyboard, some new wave keyboard sounds come in towards the end. And then the album closes out with 6.5 minutes of float along, fill your lungs, in which we're just re-immersed in that river of psych goodness. Yeah, just sitar, got this droning sound over it. My nose is starting to itch. Really trippy lyrics. This really, really awesome guitar riff that kind of lifts up the whole thing. Yeah, just really, really, really good. Starts and ends with just 2 really strong, immersive psych songs, and then a bunch of somewhat shorter, more playful, more dynamic things in between. It's a great album, and it's their 3rd album. And already on here, they're working on different tempo shifts. They're doing weird things in the studio. They're using weird effects. Like, they are being playful and having fun, and like you can feel it. It comes through the music. It's fantastic. Would I rank this one so far compared to their other 2 albums? It's a number 1, clearly a number 1. The other 2 are great and fun, but this takes those other albums and just completely like ups the ante and ups the game completely. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Highly, highly recommend it. Highly, highly, highly recommend this album. But yeah, that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts on this album, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and all that stuff. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace. Talk to you later. Oh yeah, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff. Talk to you later.